I don't know, man. Just keep making it tough. Obviously, one of the best scorers to ever play the game. Um, it's tough. It's tough. Like he's the best. He's the best player in the world right now, and we gotta beat him as a team. We gotta guard him as a team. We gotta make him make tough shots like tonight, and we just gotta keep doing our job, and hopefully he's gonna miss.
With the Milwaukee Bucks and Brooklyn Nets now facing Game 7, win or go home, I don't personally, I know Bucks fans might hate it, but don't fall for the Milwaukee Bucks trap. Now, before I explain my thoughts, I want to give a shout out to Swish Out, who does videos similar to this. He did like the Lonzo Ball trap, the LeBron trap. So you should really check out his videos. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I just had to just give him his credit. And also, this is unscripted. I'm just talking off the top of my head. So, the Milwaukee Bucks have been a very interesting team. In the regular season, they've been a top 3 seed for the last 3 years, and they've had Giannis, the 2-time MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year 1 time. And in the regular season, they always dominate. When they were the 1 seed, they were the best defense in the entire NBA, having Brook Lopez and Giannis drop down in all pick and rolls, and in the regular season, it worked because when you're facing a team like, at the time, the New York Knicks, who have no shooting, it's alright if you do drop coverage and you go down, or you just don't go up from the screen. But in the playoffs, that doesn't work when you're facing a team like the Miami Heat with Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. And if you give those guys open looks, you are going to pay. And that's the reason why the Bucks lost in 5 games. And this year, they were the 3 seed, and it seemed like Coach Bud made a couple changes. I mean, he didn't have Brook drop as much, but still, many people didn't believe. But after sweeping the Miami Heat, there were a lot of high expectations, and after facing the Nets in the second round, a lot of people believed that the Bucks could win. They matched up on paper really well with Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis. I still have no idea why Giannis isn't guarding Kevin Durant still, but I can't really control that. But still, there were some really high expectations, but they lost the first 2 games, and they looked so bad. Giannis was taking like 8 3-pointers, and there were 18 seconds on the shot clock, and he's pulling up for 3, which you never want for Giannis. And then they hit 4 3-pointers in the first game, which is unacceptable, and it's pretty obvious why they lost. And then there were just Chris Middleton being just really bad, Drew Holiday being in a shooting slump, and they lost the first 2 games on the road. But coming back home, they dominated again, with Harden being injured, and you never want to see somebody get hurt, but the Kyrie injury really helped the Bucks, and then they tied it up at 2-2. At Game 3, there was basically a 20% Harden who was walking on one leg. Kyrie wasn't playing. They were up 13 points in the third quarter, but they blew it. Kevin Durant on fire. Giannis wasn't on Kevin Durant, which was a big problem. They played Brook Lopez too much, and they lost the game. Kevin Durant was unstoppable, and as you saw in the interview, yes, Kevin Durant's the greatest scorer of all time, but you just sometimes have to adjust, and Coach Bud isn't known for making adjustments. Every year, he just doesn't make the right decisions, but this year, I think he might be doing it. And in Game 6, a lot of things changed. Harden was a bit better, but they stopped Kevin Durant just a bit better. I mean, there was still PJ Tucker, which wasn't very good. But besides that, they guarded everyone really well. Jeff Green had a slow game. James Harden, only 16 points, which is James Harden, and that isn't normal. And Joe Harris, Blake Griffin, they weren't really themselves. And in Game 7, I don't know what to think of this team. Every time, I guess home court advantage is real again. I mean, I thought after the Clippers Maverick series, it was home court disadvantage, but every home team has one, and with the Nets going back home, I think that can be really interesting. But just going back to the Bucks trap, and I just think that they're too inconsistent. There's Coach Bud who sometimes make adjustments, sometimes doesn't, but I hopefully makes the adjustments with his coaching on the line. And if you have just like players win a contract deal, they give it their all to get their new big contract, and hopefully Coach Bud can do something similar. But this Bucks team, they need to get some consistency with this team. Chris Middleton's been a lot better recently. Giannis barely took any 3-pointers, which you like to see. But with James Harden getting better, Kevin Durant still being potentially the best player in the world, they are going to have to play at that contender level team. Just us NBA fans have seen the Milwaukee Bucks crumple just so many times. In 2019, they were up 2-0 against the Raptors. But after they blew 4 straight, which was unacceptable. But that was their first season, so there was some excuses. In the second season, in the bubble, there were no Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. The Sixers were in a mess with Al Horford. And the East was wide open. But after getting gentleman swept by the Miami Heat, that was not a good sign. And this season, it's tough to say how they're going to perform. Okay, maybe this video will age so badly. They destroy the Nets in Game 7. But I have a feeling that the Bucks are going to lose, and they might lose in an embarrassing way, because this inconsistency, it's a real trap that I think can really happen. There's basically this whole playoffs, they've been looking good with the Heat. They were looking amazing, contender, they can beat the Nets. After the first 2 games, they became, oh, they're done, they're gonna get swept. And then they win the next 2 games. Oh, maybe they can win this in 6. Then in Game 5, they're like, oh, Kevin Durant's gonna drop 40 every game, they're done. And now Game 6, they looked really good. And this inconsistency is a problem. And with Game 7, maybe just me acknowledging this makes them better, because that happens. Like, YouTubers make videos like hating on people, and then they become much better. Maybe it's that, and maybe the Bucks will just destroy the Nets. But I have a feeling that the Bucks are going to crumple, and it might be really bad. So that being said, that's gonna be why don't fall for the Milwaukee Bucks trap. Like I said, maybe this ages so badly, and maybe I won't delete this video, but hopefully it'll be really interesting for how Game 7 goes. And just this game is probably the most important game of Giannis' future, or just his whole career. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment who do you think will win, the Bucks or the Nets, and I'll see you on next time.